Every time a new technology comes along, people freak out. They imagine all the potential ways this new technology can hurt them or hurt the world. We've been doing this for a long time, all the way back to when books and the printing press came out. People feared this invention because they thought it might lead to information overload. Too much information, the people can't handle it. People would suffer with the confusing and harmful abundance of books. The New York Times attacked Alexander Graham Bell's telephone in 1877 for its invasion of privacy. Mark Twain was an early adopter of the telephone, but he declined to invest in the new technology, thinking there was no widespread market for it. When electricity came along, a lot of people were worried. Even President Benjamin Harrison had White House staff turn the lights on and off for him because he was scared of being electrocuted. Radio. Oh my goodness, there are electrical waves flowing through the air. Television. This isn't a fear of, but a massive underestimation of a new technology. Quote, television won't be able to hold on to any market it captures after the first 6 months. People will soon get tired of staring at a plywood box every night. Darryl Zanuck, the CEO of 20th Century Fox in 1946. I'm sure there were others who were freaked out by having a box in your house with moving pictures. Cell phones. Not too long ago, people were warning that cell phones were going to cause a massive outbreak of brain cancer because of the energy emanating from cell phones in the form of RF or radio frequency waves. Lots of studies have been conducted, and as a statement from the American Cancer Society shows, there's really no link between cell phones and cancer. In summary, studies of the effects of cell phone energy on people published so far have not established a clear link between cell phone use and the development of tumors. There have been several large studies since the spread of the cell phone availability and use from the late 1990s on. I'm guessing someone, somewhere, would have discovered a clear link by now. Here's something that is, however, possible to say about cell phones, at least smartphones. While having tremendous benefits, almost too numerous to list, there is a major drawback to smartphones. That is, that the more time you spend looking at a screen, the less happy you will be. To state that positively, the less screen equals more happy. Hi, I'm Chris Howlett. Welcome to the Cultivating Happiness channel. I realize that was a hugely long introduction, so I hope you've stuck around. Today I want to share with you how less screen time means more happy time. These little cell phones can be so addictive. I would show you mine, but I'm using the camera on my iPhone 12 Pro to record this video. Let me just state at the beginning, I really like my cell phone. It's wonderful. It's a great tool. I enjoy the screen. It looks great. Has great reception. It's super fast. The camera is amazing. I'm really into technology. I also own a 2020 iPad and a new M1 MacBook Pro that's the boss. I'm no Luddite. What does that mean? It's a derogatory term, a person opposed to new technology or ways of working. The term goes back to the 19th century in England, where a radical group of textile workers took their name from a fellow by the name of Ned Ludd, who was a weaver. They opposed the introduction of machines that had the potential to take over their jobs, and actually did eventually take over their jobs. This conflict led to a rebellion that was suppressed by the police and the military. Anyway, the term Luddite came to be used as a derogatory name for a person who simply opposes the use of technology for whatever reason. So, I'm not a Luddite. I quite enjoy new technology, even at times just for new technology's sake. I'm a true child of modernity. Having said all of that, however, it's obvious and measurable that less time on your smartphone or iPad or even computer can contribute to your happiness or psychological well-being. Let's jump into some statistics. A study published by the American Psychological Association in 2018 links increased screen time with lower levels of psychological well-being among adolescents. Those who spend less time in electronic communication were the happiest. Those who spent more time were the least happy. As a teenager spends more time on screens, they decrease their happiness. Another study linked time spent online with less happiness. Dr. Gene Twenge, a psychology professor at San Diego State University, recently wrote a book titled iGen: Why Today's Super Connected Kids Are Growing Up Less Rebellious, More Tolerant, Less Happy, and Completely Unprepared for Adulthood. I love that title. She labels this new generation of young people iGen, like iPhone, or Internet Generation. She and her colleagues discovered that high school seniors spend, on average, 2.25 hours per day texting, 2 hours per day on the internet, 1.5 hours per day on electronic gaming, and about a half hour a day on video chat. That's a total of 6 hours a day, 42 hours a week of screen time. That's high school seniors. 8th graders spend about 5 hours a day. That's 35 hours per week. That's a lot of time staring at a screen. As young people spend all this time on their smartphones, they're spending less time reading books, less time reading magazines and newspapers. They're also watching less television, which is probably a good thing, but also far less time in face-to-face conversation with actual human beings. And that is a decidedly bad thing. Twin shows that from the 1990s, teens had been tracking upward, the percentage of those who considered themselves very happy. That number had been going up. But since about 2011, that percentage has sharply declined. Along with this decline, the number of 12th graders who are satisfied with their lives as a whole and with themselves has even more sharply declined. The percentage of teens who feel lonely, quote, a lot of the time, unquote, has sharply increased. Guess what happened in 2011 when all these changes started taking place? That's when we looked up from our own phones and realized that just about everyone around us had a phone in his or her hands. It's a really destructive formula. More screen time, plus less in-person social interaction, plus less physical activity equals more loneliness, less happiness, more anxiety, and more depression. Just in case you think adults are out of the woods, not so fast. The typical adult spends around 4 hours per day on screen time. That's 28 hours a week. What's amazing to learn is that while technology companies like Facebook, Twitter, Google, Apple, while they dream up new ways to keep us glued to our phones, their executives admit that they limit screen time for their own children. They're busy selling you on how great it is to spend time on your phone or tablet, while at the same time they're guarding their own children from the deleterious effects of screen time. That's all kind of depressing, but here are some tips for limiting screen time so you can spend more time maximizing happiness. Develop structures and habits in your life to limit screen time. For instance, make a phone garage, a place to put your phone when you want to separate yourself from it so you can focus on other more productive things like relationships or reading. So you come home, there's the phone garage, put the phone in this phone garage so you can focus on things that are more important. You can always go back to the garage when you want to take it out, when you need it. When you're out with your friends, put your phone on airplane mode. It's a great way to make sure you're not getting buzzed with notifications when you're with your friends. You can still use your phone for taking pictures and things like that, but it won't be a distraction during conversation time. Get a hobby that doesn't include your phone. The options are limitless. What do you enjoy? What are you good at? What are some of the ways you can tap into your own creativity that might expose you to a greater circle of acquaintances and potential friendships? You might even block out time on your schedule for phone-free time, for study or focus, or whatever it is that keeps your attention on activities and adventures that are more life-giving than simply staring at the latest fashion on Instagram or the latest silly video on TikTok. There's a whole big world outside your phone. Phones are terrific tools for communication, but they're lousy masters. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. I'm here to encourage you to make choices that will maximize your opportunity for happiness, meaning, and fulfillment. That's what the Cultivate Happiness channel is all about. Do me a favor, like this video, comment, leave a comment in the sections below. What did you like? What questions might you have? Share this video. Be sure and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support of the Cultivate Happiness channel. I hope you have a happier day.